From the studios of WWAY, it's the CB McGrath Show. The CB McGrath Show is brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers, Papa John's, Adams Beverage, Harris Teeter, Coastal Beverage, and Reed's Jewelers. And now, here's your host, Mike Vaccaro.
Well, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Mike Vaccaro here alongside the coach, CB McGrath, talking Seahawk basketball and recapping a very busy week for UNCW. We have 3 games to get to that we'll talk about that, have some highlights. Player profile this week, another freshman, Amanje Dodd, is that. We'll also have our player of the week and look ahead to another busy week for UNCW. But, Coach, let's go back to Tuesday. If you remember back then, the first of 3 games this week, North Carolina Wesleyan in town. And for you guys, a game where it was a lot about you, and certainly you guys performed well against the battling Bishops.
Yeah, you know, we came off that disappointing performance against Davidson, and so we just needed to focus on ourselves in practice. Our offense wasn't playing at the type of pace that we wanted to. We weren't taking the type of shots that we like, and obviously we got a bunch of them against Wesleyan. We made 17 threes, 17 out of 30. We shot really good in the second half, but we shared the ball. We didn't get greedy, even with the score being what it was. But, you know, defensively, I thought we did some really good things. They struggled from outside. I thought we did a better job of covering the 3, which we did not do against Davidson. So the stats look good. Obviously, when the shots go in, it's a lot more fun to play, and the defensive intensity always picks up a little bit. Yeah,
as you mentioned there, the offense was there, 113 points in this game, but we talked post-game and your defense. That's where you were hoping to have maybe the biggest improvement going from Davidson to this game, and certainly you saw that, and a step in the right direction for this team.
Yeah, you know, obviously Davidson's a really good basketball team. You know, preseason they're supposed to maybe have a chance to win their conference, the A-10, which is really tough, and they probably got some votes for top 25. So obviously their talent level is higher than Wesleyan's talent level, but you know, we just needed to show more effort. You know, I thought we just sort of gave in to the screening action against Davidson. We knew Wesleyan wouldn't have that type of screening action, but they were going to try and get inside. You know, similar to what Davidson did, see how we're playing, get it out to some shooters, and we had to just do a better job of covering all over the floor.
So again, this was Tuesday night inside Trask Coliseum, UNCW against North Carolina Wesleyan. Let's take a look now at our Harris Teeter highlights. Well, a big result there for the Seahawks. 113-53, 60-point margin of victory, the largest in school history. 20 points for Jake Boggs, 26 for Jalen Sims. They're 2 of 4 Seahawks in double figures in this game. And again, some good offense, 17 threes knocked down. So certainly this one, a big result for UNCW.
Yeah, a lot of highlights, a lot of guys feeling good. You know, Jake Boggs was obviously very efficient. Took 8 shots, had 20 points. So you go 8 for 8 from the field. That's a pretty good game. Shaquem had a good game too. You know, Marty did some nice things. He just finally got some more touches in Washington, D.C., which we'll talk about later. But we've been trying to get Marty and Amaje more touches in the post. I think that can be really effective for us. Yeah,
for Boggs, his first 3 was banked in. Perfect night from that point on, 8 for 8, as Coach mentioned. So a good night for the Seahawks as they get that win against North Carolina Wesleyan at home. Part of the battle for the Capitol. The Seahawks off to D.C. after that. We'll take a break and talk about those 2 games coming up next.
Let's talk about math. Fuel points math. For every dollar you spend at Harris Teeter, you get a fuel point. 100 fuel points equals 10 cents off per gallon. 200 fuel points equals 20 cents off per gallon. 1,000 fuel points equals $1 off per gallon on quality fuel. And if you're shopping at Harris Teeter with your Vic card, your fuel points are already adding up. Check the bottom of your receipt. Harris Teeter Fuel Points, an easy way to save on fuel.
See harristeeter.com for details.
Every time it's been way too long. A Corona gets its line. Every time you're not related, but you're definitely family. Every time you meet from across the party. Every time all of us is all we need. And every time your favorite place is more about who than where. A Corona.
Along the coast of North Carolina lies one of the best universities in the Southeast, the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. UNC Wilmington, giving flight to imagination.
Well, after the home game with Wesleyan on Tuesday, it was off to D.C., the Entertainment and Sports Arena, the home of this year's CA Championship, and the Seahawks taking on Cleveland State, the first game of 2 in the battle for the Capitol. And coaches, as well as you shot on Tuesday night, it was a season low, unfortunately, against Cleveland State, 27% shooting in this game, but still right there into the very end against the Vikings.
Yeah, you know, it was a game we just had to fight the whole game. It was a battle. They started off being really physical, which we thought they would do. They're strong, physical, had to muddy the waters a little bit, not let us get into rhythm, and they did a great job of it early. And I challenged the guys, saying, "Hey, you got to draw a line in the sand at some point." You know, they got too many offensive rebounds early, and they kept getting some offensive rebounds. They're not a great shooting team, and the only way they could stay in the game was to get extra possessions or get us out of our game, and they did a good job of that.
No highlights of this one. We take a look at the final score here, 47-46. It was an offensive putback with 11 seconds left. The difference of this game, as you see, neither team shot the ball particularly well. 27% for UNCW. Cleveland State just 37%. Rebounds even, but that last one, Coach, the offensive putback was a tough one to see, as it was the Vikings winning it by a point.
Yeah, and we should have got some more offensive rebounds. You shoot 27% for the game. There's a lot of offensive rebounds to be had, but like I said, they chased down long rebounds. They wanted a little bit more. The tougher team won that game. Yes, we would like to get that stop, and they missed the shot, and it just bounced in a direction where Sims couldn't get it. You know, he had sort of had the guy on his back, and it just sort of went over his head, and then they scored it, and we got a shot, and then we got another chance to get a shot out of bounds, and we couldn't get the ball in bounds. We called timeout. Both times we tried to run something to get at the rim because there's only 0.7 seconds left. You have time just to take a quick little shot, and we couldn't get it done. And again, I give it credit to them. They were physical on the inbounds play, and we couldn't get our guys to the spots that we needed to.
Yeah, Cleveland State would go on to go 2-0 in this tournament, beating Eastern Kentucky yesterday as well. So that game led to FIU last night or yesterday afternoon, Coach, a quick bounce-back game, and certainly your kids did that. The energy from start to finish, I thought, was where it needed to be, and certainly it helped propel you guys to a big win over FIU.
Yeah, from start to finish, every guy played about as hard as they could, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't perfect. We had turnovers. We missed shots again. We 1 of 15 from 3. A lot of times you go 1 of 15 from 3. It's hard to win those games, but if you just keep battling, we out-rebounded them by about 11. We still had too many turnovers, but we were worried about their press. That's how they scored a lot of their baskets, on live ball turnovers. And a lot of our turnovers weren't live ball turnovers to lead to fast break points for them. Some of our some were charges. They sort of slapped it off our legs sometimes, so it went out of bounds. So we can set up our own defense. So that was a huge part of the game, not turning it over against their press. Obviously, we wanted to make a few more shots, but we held them off in the end with our defensive effort.
Well, let's take a look now at the highlights from this game from D.C. Here's our Reed Jewelers highlights, UNCW and FIU.
Beat the pressure if you have a layup, take it, but then slow down the pace.
You have to make the guard more than the 10 to 15 seconds.
Bakaru pushes again. Finds Linson for the dunk.
All those guys are they're just not doing a good job of that.
Other way goes Dodd out in front, and he'll make the layup despite the harassment from Banks.
They're doing a great job. Now, like I said, they got to look to score. They can't just pick the ball up and slow it down a little bit. They got to make sure they look to score just like that.
Definitely moving. Again, a big three-point shooting day and a nice find down low by Phillips for Dodd.
Yeah, they open it.
Karu will scoop it around the Asagai and the rest of the defense. They'll feed Linson, already has 6. Nice move, and it goes. Again, Martin Linson's got 8. Good defense by Akaru. Now Sims will take it down the lane, and he finishes against Asagai. Push the pace, nothing there. Phillips slows it down for a second. Now he'll pull up for the jumper and hit it. Pass on the block. This is Linson. Shot is up and that one falls. So Linson keeping up his good play. He now has 14. Daves down the lane, pulls up in the lane and able to get it to go on the teardrop.
You just don't want to start scoreboard watching. Looking at the clock, you think it's an opportunity to win the basketball game. You just got to pay attention to the small details.
Shot up and good. Linson continuing his huge play today. He now has 16. Good ball movement. Sims will step inside for the 2 and he hits it.
Right, real calm, way to calm yourself down.
Too much shooting. Get his, especially as we saw so many guys shooting yesterday. Taves, what a whip pass down low to dunk for Dodd.
That's just good ball moving all the way around and finish. You got to figure that thing out. He's done a good job so far today.
Sims with a contested 3.
Man, we talked it up.
Taves with it, running some clock down to 15. He'll pull up for 2. Taves gets it to go. Got every piece of the rim.
And in the end, it was a key rebound that helped secure that victory for UNCW off some missed free throws by FIU. 66-63 final score, 48 rebounds, a season high, Coach. So again, 38% shooting, they shoot 35. Overall, the defense this week has been really good when you look at the percentages for your opponents in the 3 games combined.
Yeah, and obviously FIU, they do a great job. They are like top 10 in the country on percentage of threes for their offense, and so we knew coming in we were going to have to really defend the 3-point line. I thought we did a good job of contesting everything. They made a couple tough ones. They got a couple open ones, but their offense is set up to do that, and just proud of our guys' effort. Kai, the stats don't show how important he was or how well he played. After the game, I told him that's the Kai Tazo we need to play every night. And he just got us open shots, didn't turn the ball over, took good shots for himself. I know he didn't make as many as he wanted to. Nobody on our team made as many shots as they wanted to this weekend. We didn't have a great shooting nights or days in that arena, and we're hoping in March we'll shoot a lot better.
Well, Marty Linson shot pretty well. 18 points, a season high, 7 of 8 shooting for him. And then Amajay Dodd, a season best, 10 points for him, 5 of 8. So the post players combined did a great job for UNCW. Big win for the Seahawks here, and a big bounce back win as well after the Cleveland State setback on Friday night. We'll take a break here. When we get back, it's Amajay Dodd, our player profile on the freshman, who's really having a nice start to his career here at UNCW. That profile coming up next.
At Papa John's, when it comes to better ingredients, better pizza, we deliver. And now we're delivering extra value, too.
When the Seahawks win, you win. Get 50% off your online order the day after a Seahawks men's or women's victory with code Seahawks.
At Papa John's, when it comes to better ingredients, better pizza, we deliver. And now we're delivering extra value, too.
When the Seahawks win, you win. Get 50% off your online order the day after a Seahawks men's or women's victory with code Seahawks.
Whoa, that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
Whoa, that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
I buy gift cards to pay for all the music, videos, and TV shows I download. And when I do, I save on fuel. With Harris Teeter Fuel Points, I get 2 times the points for every gift card I buy. Spend $25 and get 50 fuel points. And my points are redeemable at any Harris Teeter Fuel Center or participating BP station. I can save up to $1 per gallon on quality fuel. It's money I'm going to spend anyway. Plus, I save at the pump. Harris Teeter Fuel Points. It's music to my ears.
Along the coast of North Carolina lies one of the best universities in the Southeast, the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. UNC Wilmington, giving flight to imagination.
Time now for another player profile. We continue on and we conclude with the freshman here, Amajay Dodd. And Coach, again, I've really been impressed with him. The minutes he gets have been really productive for you so far this season.
Yeah, he's been great so far. You know, he's really active. He's aggressive, both on the offensive and defensive end. He goes for the boards. He can really sit down in a stance and defend, especially on the perimeter. So if we do have to switch some ball screens, I trust him guarding anybody, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, everybody on our team needs to obviously guard the ball better, but I think, you know, he's one of the best at guarding the ball, especially on the switches, because he can get down his stance and really slide his feet. But we like what he's given us. He's different than Marty, and so that's good. And, you know, they're, you know, nice pieces to put in for each other.
Yeah, when you look at the offense and defense as well from this freshman, again, a really good start to his career, 7 games in at UNCW. Tanner Barth has more now on Amajay Dodd.
Coming out of Greene Central High School in Snow Hill, North Carolina, Amajay Dodd was known as a high flyer, whether he was blocking shots or throwing down monster dunks. And he's brought that same mindset to UNCW, a school he chose because of an instant relationship with the Seahawk coaching staff.
I just feel like UNCW, the staff is just amazing, and I just had a good relationship with the coach.
And he says having the opportunity to play in front of his friends and family also played a role in his decision.
It's very beneficial, you know, 2 hours from my hometown, and it means a lot, you know. Most of my family are going to be able to come to some of the games. So,
as soon as he made his commitment to UNCW, the comparisons to recent Seahawks star Devontae Kaycock came up, which he says was an honor in itself.
But we both are alike in some areas. He's a very amazing player, and it means a lot to get compared to him.
But he doesn't want to get ahead of himself as just a freshman for the Seahawks, so for now he's going to do whatever it takes to help UNCW win, whether it's with his play style or mentality.
Whatever the coach asks of me, just that toughness, that grit, and just that dog mentality.
Because he realizes there's still a lot to learn about the college game.
Just being smarter, like just making smarter decisions with the ball and just learning more about the game.
And of course, we had to find out what type of music the 6'6" freshman likes to listen to, and even though some of his teammates give him a hard time for it.
I just like pop, country music. So.
Every time it's been way too long. A Corona gets its line. Every time you're not related, but you're definitely family. Every time you meet from across the party. Every time all of us is all we need. And every time your favorite place is more about who than where. A Corona.
Along the coast of North Carolina lies one of the best universities in the Southeast, the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. UNC Wilmington, giving flight to imagination.
This week's Play of the Week provided by the leading scorer for UNCW, Jalen Sims, as part of his 26-point effort Tuesday night against North Carolina Wesleyan. Let's take a look.
7 lead, 11-8. Back the other way, and a thunderous dunk by Jalen Sims.
Outstanding week for Sims, and that's outstanding play right there for the sophomore, leading scorer, as mentioned, for UNCW so far on this young season. A little dunk from the sophomore. Time now for the Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week. We go back to the week that was, and Marty Linson, how about the line for him? 9.7 point shot, 75% from the field, 92% from the free throw line, a career high 18 against FIU, and just named to the all-tournament team in the battle for the Capitol. So again, Coach, a really nice week for this young man, the sophomore out of Germany.
Yeah, he did a great job, and obviously he set the tone early in the game. We got him some post touches. He attacked the big guy for FIU. Got us off to a great start, and then obviously continued the rest of the game. You know, he got fouled really hard late in the game. I don't know how much time was left, 3 or 4 minutes, and he made both free throws, and we sort of kept him in. I didn't know if he was shaken up at all, but he stayed in there and did a nice job.
He kind of got mad at people that were asking him if he was okay, I think. So, boy, he was showing some toughness right there. Marty Linson, a really good week for him. Again, a good start for his career as well at UNCW. He is the Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week. Again, Marty Linson. We'll take another break. We'll look ahead to what's ahead for UNCW. No show next week, so we'll have a lot of action coming up. We'll talk about the 4 games coming up next.
Whoa, that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
Whoa, that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
At Papa John's, when it comes to better ingredients, better pizza, we deliver. And now we're delivering extra value too.
When the Seahawks win, you win. Get 50% off your online order the day after a Seahawks men's or women's victory with code Seahawks.
At Papa John's, when it comes to better ingredients, better pizza, we deliver. And now we're delivering extra value too.
When the Seahawks win, you win. Get 50% off your online order the day after a Seahawks men's or women's victory with code Seahawks.
Along the coast of North Carolina lies one of the best universities in the Southeast, the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. UNC Wilmington, giving flight to imagination.
Well, 3 weeks in already to this season, 7 games in. It's been an incredible start to the schedule, fast-paced. It's going to continue to be fast-paced as UNCW will have 3 more games coming up this week. We'll have no show next Sunday, so we'll include the game after that as well in our schedule delivered by Papa John. So it starts Tuesday, Emory and Henry, 7 o'clock inside Trask Coliseum. Then the Seahawks go out west. Friday, it's at Boise State. Sunday, the return trip to Stanford. And then December 7th, back at home against Charlotte. But, Coach, again, another very busy week. You had 3 games last week, 3 games now this week. You'll get a little break, but a lot of travel out west as well.
Yeah, we do. You know, the good news is the guys will be out of school, so they're not missing any classes, and that's why we tried to schedule that trip to Stanford. And we want to try and find just another game on the way out there, you know, where we could make some money. So Boise State was available, and you know, it's going to work out. It's going to be tough to get to Boise and then get to Stanford, but you know, that's part of traveling basketball. You know, everybody's sort of used to it. All the kids have traveled all their life, you know, playing AAU and going to Vegas, to Florida, you know. So we went to Italy. They're used to travel, but we're looking forward to the week. You know, last week we did have 3 games in the week, so that prepared us for this week. And it's a similar type deal. We have Emory and Henry as part of the Battle for the Capital, the end segment of it, and then 2 true road games. But it was nice to get the victory away from Trask yesterday against Florida International. Yeah, it all runs together. But that was good for our guys to have a victory away from home. So give us some confidence going to Boise and then Stanford.
So again, it starts Tuesday, Emory and Henry, 7 o'clock back in Trask Coliseum. Want to see all the folks come out for that game. And then Friday at Boise, Sunday at Stanford. We'll talk next Saturday. It'll be Charlotte as well coming to town, the 49ers, as that series. It's a young series, and that'll be renewed in Trask Coliseum. So, again, a lot of basketball coming up. And a reminder, no show next week. The Seahawks will be out in California next Sunday in the afternoon. That'll be the game with Stanford. We'll have those highlights the week after, so hope you can join us for that in a couple of weeks. So, Coach, safe travels and good luck this week.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We're going to spend Thanksgiving in Boise. I've never been to Idaho, so I'm looking forward to it. I assume there'll be some snow on the ground. So our guys will have to be prepared for that. You know, I've been on teams where some guys have never seen snow before, and so I know that we always travel to the north. But you know, some of the freshmen, I don't know, Charlotte, they've probably seen snow before. So it'll be a great trip. We're looking forward to it. I get to coach against my buddy, my former college teammate and roommate, Jared Haas at Stanford, and they're off to a nice start. And I've never been to Palo Alto either, so a couple places I've never been. Looking forward to coaching out there, and our guys playing well. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it should be certainly a fun trip, interesting trip for UNCW. We'll be along for the ride as well. Again, for Coach, I'm Mike Vaccaro. Thanks for joining us here today. We'll see you in 2 weeks for another edition of the CB McGrath Show. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
The CB McGrath Show is brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers, Papa John's, Adams Beverage, Harris Teeter, Coastal Beverage, and Reed's Jewelers.